In case you haven't heard already, the Ducks signed LaCombe and Mason McTavish to long-term extensions.
We got pumpkin pie.
What was more shocking? Mason's deal finally getting done before the regular season, or Comer's getting done this early? Because based on reports, in the days leading up to Mason's signing, it looked like he was going to miss some games. After 5 months of grinding negotiations and countless annoying rumors that even stretched a week into training camp, the Ducks finally signed RFA McTavish to a 6-year, $7 million a year contract. This deal takes Mason through age 28, and if all goes according to plan, he'll be expecting an even bigger payday by then. I don't have a ton to say on this one, which is why I never made a full video about it. It's a solid deal that shouldn't have taken this long. This was supposedly something Verbeek said was a priority heading into the offseason. Priorities typically get done pretty fast. If this is what a priority looks like, I'd hate to see what isn't. But it's a fair value contract, and Verbeek deserves credit for that. But if the reports are true, he's the one that caved. So the question is, why didn't he just do this earlier? Or why didn't he want to go longer like Mason reported he wanted? Why not go an 8x8? Why start at 5 years in the first place? You'd think he'd want to buy more UFA years. Again, great contract overall. Verbeek deserves his flowers for that, but the term is still a little weird. We'll never fully know which reports were accurate since they changed all off-season. Mason supposedly wanted short at first, and then long, and then the Ducks flipped the other way. So it's never going to fully make sense, but at least it's finally over. And hey, Mason got a few weeks of camp and even a preseason game in, which is huge. Right now, it's just fair value. He's being paid the same as Troy Terry, and based on last year's stats, he should be one of our highest paid forwards. If McT grows like we expect him to, this deal could look like a steal in a few years, especially with the cap going up. Beaker is obviously just a hip young guy going with a 6'7" trend. Surprised Comer's wasn't 6'9". Maybe that's why Mason's took so long, because if Mason's making 7, Comer definitely deserves 9, and possibly even more in a few years. That's right, LaCombe is locked up for 8 years at $9 million per year, making Comer the highest paid player in franchise history, at least by total dollars. I have a feeling Leo is going to break that soon though. This deal takes Comer through his age 32 season, buying all those prime UFA years. What a great job, Verbeek. Credit where credit is due. Now, it kind of seems like Comer's agent is the one who brought this to the table, the same agent who represents Luke Hughes, which, by the way, makes Comer's contract looks even better after seeing what Hughes got. But still, credit to Pat Verbeek for seeing the upside and getting it done. Besides the Dosty contract, this is honestly the first move this offseason that genuinely got me excited. Like, yeah, getting Chris Kreider was cool, but there's a lot of health questions. Getting Mikael Granlund was nice too, and watching him in preseason definitely boosted my excitement for him, but let's be real, it's kind of an overpay. McTavish's deal was solid, but him missing camp kind of ruined the vibe. And then, of course, don't get me started on Quenneville. Sure, he seems like a great fit so far, but that baggage, yeah. That's not to say there isn't some risk with this one either. It's kind of wild to think LaCombe was getting healthy scratch at the beginning of last season, so he hasn't even shown a whole year of this. And just 2 years ago, his rookie year, so many people wanted him gone, to put it nicely. I defended him like crazy in the comments because I saw more in him. But every time I said something positive about him in a video, people roasted me every single time. So how's that egg taste now? LaCombe does a lot of the little things that make a big difference, and he rarely gets credit for them. In his rookie season, sure, there were mistakes, some very noticeable ones, especially while playing on his offside on the top pair alongside Fowler. But considering he was kind of thrown into a role, he handled it pretty well. His focus that year was clearly defense first, and despite the growing pains, he consistently made smart, subtle plays to move the puck out of the zone and relieve pressure. Then in year 2, he just took off. Of course, like most people, I never expected him to make this kind of jump. I always said he was near the bottom of the total pole when it came to our defensive prospects, but I always felt there was more there. And with this new contract, we obviously expect him to keep taking steps forward. It may be a bit of an overpay when it kicks in next season, well, maybe a lot with McDavid's new deal, but that's a special case. Even if he doesn't take another massive leap and becomes only a number 2 or number 3 defenseman, the value will still be there in a few years with the cap going up. Honestly, I kind of hope he tops out there, because that would mean one of our other deep prospects took over the number 1 spot, and that would be a great problem to have. Just seeing Verbeek actually sign one of the young guys early felt like a weight lifted. It gives me a small glimmer of hope that we won't have to deal with any more of these dragging into training camp for the RFAs next year. Although, to be fair, there was never a risk here since Comer had arbitration rights, so it's a little different. Still, credit where credit is due. Good job, Verbeek. Still want your butt fired, though. Gonna take a lot more than this to change my mind. Tell you what, if not a single RFA next year misses camp, you're off the hook. Unless you do something else stupid, and I wouldn't put that past you. Thank you to our members. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!
Yeah, buddy.